Hi everybody, it's Sandy here, and it's time for the full moon rose reading. And I'm not in my normal rosy temple. I'm in Northumberland, and I'm part the way through 3 days of house whisperessing work and working with clients with their spaces and their stories to bring around a better sense of connection and an alignment with the heart of home. And of course, the heart of our homes has got a direct connection into our inner temple, our inner heart space. So today I'm on the last part of the journey, the last day of my journey here. And there's just a window of time before I go and do some space clearing on a house that's just been vacated by tenants and is just waiting for its new tenants to arrive. So it's going to be a day of releasing the old stories and opening and welcoming in the new. So I think that this is just perfect timing for the full moon. And the whole message of this full moon in Aries is this point of new beginnings. It's the closing chapter of the old and the old stories, and our willingness to walk into the new. And at this point, we also have in the heavens a connection, a conjunction between Mars and Venus. So this is really a time of balancing and bringing into a dynamic the dance of the masculine feminine, both in our external spaces but in our internal landscape as well. And that dance of Venus and Mars is very much the dance of our inner beingness and our inner doingness, so that when we understand these two energies that have a pattern and a weave together within us, it gives us a better understanding of who we are and what makes us tick, what is our preference in any given situation to work with our inner masculine or our inner feminine. And of course, both of those aspects also carry a place of an inauthentic feminine and an inauthentic masculine, and the authentic feminine and the authentic masculine. When we move into those authentic aspects of the true essence of that particular quality within ourselves, then we become super powerful, we become supercharged, and there is an alignment that occurs within our fields that opens us up into a new connection with our own heart field, and of course our alignment with the source frequency that we're actually here to be a conduit for, and to be able to bring heaven on earth, to have this clear aligned place that we bring these beautiful energies down through. So what might the roses have to offer us as wisdom for this time? Are you drawn to rose card 1? Are you drawn to rose card 2? And are you drawn to rose card 3? And as ever, the more I work with these roses, the more I get to understand when I'm doing these rose readings that actually the roses that come forward not only have a connection to my own story, of course, but when we look at what we might be drawn to, they often have a message woven within all three of them that is right for each and every one of you. We might be drawn to one of them, but there may be undercurrent flavours of the other two roses that can offer us some insight and wisdom too. So these are powerful, powerful times of really coming to understand our own journey to self-mastery, our own journey to this inner pathway that we signed up for in being here at this time. So, if you were drawn to Rose card 1, she is Rose Ma 10. Now, actually, this is one of my favourite cards in the set. Hi, Viv. Hello. Hi. Yes, she is so much guiding us towards this place of I am compassion. You know, this place of compassion for self, compassion for the journey that we've been on, the choices that we've made, the pathway that's unfolded for us. Hi, Fiona. Hi. Thank you for joining. Yeah, this place of also compassion for the wounded path of humanity. You know, these we're all being shown these different aspects of our journey here on planet Earth at the moment, and all of the disturbance, the geo-engineered extreme weather conditions, the earthquakes, and these pulse points of extreme behavior, extreme experiences that actually, you know, for those of us watching what gets served up on the media, which is filtered, of course, for our consumption, but what it brings up is an almost a disbelief in the behaviours of one human to another, but also, of course, the mental health issues that are very prevalent at this time as to why someone would behave in a certain way. So this rose brings us into this place of compassion for the human condition, and from that compassion there is also a wisdom that comes from it, in the fact that, you know, we all have choices as to how we respond or react to circumstances. And my sense is that a lot of the things that are going off at the moment are designed to create fear. And yet our path to mastery is to be able to come back into self, back into the heart field, and recognize that actually this is the only place that we have to go. We can have compassion from circumstances outside of ourselves, and we can have an awareness of what these trigger points in the world are showing us. But ultimately, the journey within is the only place where we can create, have any control, and to bring ourselves into a place of peaceful resource, and know that actually peace in our world is going to come one heart at a time. And the more that we work to come into that place of peace, that is the place in which that ripple wave comes out. Sorry, there was a call that came in, which I've just shut off. When we come into that place of peace, then we have that opportunity of being a pulse point for peace on the planet. So this rose really is calling in for an awareness of that compassionate action. And this is, again, a very Buddhist ideology of the compassionate heart, the wise counsel. So she's calling you to really be aware of your inner landscape, and also to offer compassion for yourself. Absolutely essential in our evolutionary journey, that we work with compassionate wisdom for ourselves, and see that, you know, we make choices from a conditioned pattern, and as we evolve we can see why we chose the path, the partners, the places and pieces that we've had as part of our flow, and come to a place of peace and ease with it. So this full moon has an aspect to her which is very much about closure of old patterns, closure of old pathways in our lives, in order the moon in Aries is calling us in. That's the first part of the astrology, the first point on the astrology cycle. So she is about this new beginnings, this place of new beginnings. If you chose road card 2, she is Rose 8. And I don't think Rose 8 has ever come up for us in a reading before. This rose sits on the heart field, and she's all about strength and resilience. You can see that this rose is almost like coral. She has a real form to her. And for me, when I'm working with her, she sits in the back of the heart chakra, and she creates such a place of inner resource that we don't need to reach outside of ourselves to be held and safe. We come back in and we sit into our backs. You know, this is the place where we have our own inner support system. And so this rose sits and gives us this strong place of being held and safe within our own fields. When you look at her very closely, you will see that there's almost like a Madonna-like figure that sits as the guardian to the inner heart. This rose shows this powerful, powerful place of this comfort and being the guardian of the gateway. So beautiful ally to have in a card choice. And this rose also, when I'm working with her, is very, very good for working with the musculoskeletal system. And particularly, you know, if you've got issues with bones and joints, this rose is a great resource. This sense of coral energy around her and this place of strength. So calling you very much into this strong warrior. Yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful rose, and yeah, powerful, gorgeous colours too. She's a real coral gold energy. And if you were drawn to Rose card 3, this one has come up with us several times, and she's Rose Angel 7. You know, this place of trust. She's calling us to trust. This is the jewel that we have come to master if we've got any issues that are running around betrayal. She's a rose angel. The rose angels are the transformers of the 5 wounds of the heart, the 5 wounds to love, of abandonment, betrayal, denial, judgment, and separation. She sits on the solar plexus. She is a powerful, powerful ally. She's got these wings, these like stabilizing wings to her. Actually, on my trip up to Newcastle, coming into land, I had angels out on both wings because we came into really gusty wind coming into land at Newcastle, and the aircraft landed on one wheel before it bounced down onto the other one, and it was pretty scary, I have to say. But I had both wings covered with roses and angels. These, you know, this rose is just she's a rose called Woollerton Old Hall. She's a David Austin rose, and scented like myrrh. That it's a very distinct rose fragrance to her. So yeah, she's just like this chalice. You know, I can hold you. Trust. Come into this trust place. And that solar plexus works in alignment with the heart. You know, when we trust our gut wisdom, so we become really, really strong. That wise woman place of the heart solar plexus. They work together so that we trust our inner gut wisdom and we allow our hearts to stay open to this movement into life. We don't withdraw, shut down to life. We hold that power. So they're saying, you know, I love David Austin roses. I mean, they are absolutely exquisite because they weave the form of the Old English roses, the Old English and the Old French roses, and the scent, and they multi-flower, whereas the original old roses only bloomed in May and June. The David Austin roses have been bred so that they hold the scent and they hold the form of the traditional roses, but they will repeat flower. And that's wonderful for our gardens, and it's also wonderful to have that sort of energy around us. That pure love, the pure beauty that the rose brings up for us time and time again is an essential reminder in the current climate that we're dealing with, that this uncertainty, this place of everything being a movable feast, the only place of safety and security within us is deep within our heart fields. And, you know, interestingly enough, our gut wisdom. We're, you know, holding that place of our gut wisdom. So this is powerful, powerful, powerful wisdom for us. When we look at these three cards together, having absolute compassion for what's unfolding in the world and the amount of fear that that's bringing up for so many people in the world. And, you know, just absolute compassion for ourselves too in our journey. The need to be strong within our heart field, to be able to be strong for our community, for our families, for ourselves, obviously, but also a strong voice in the world, a strong place where we hold our truth and our integrity in our journey. And Rose Angel 7, this place of really trusting our gut wisdom. You know, when we get that call to action, when we get a reaction about something that's... this is really, really important that we can hold that inner resource for ourselves. And this is the best support we can be for our families, our communities. And, you know, our communities now are not just the ones that are local to us, obviously through Facebook and through international connections. We have community, we have spirit, soul community all around the world. And so when we see and are aware of the distress that's going around, so that nowhere feels safe, nowhere feels to be a place that is without this disturbance, this disturbed energy going on all the time. And that calling is when we can see that mirrored outside of ourselves, to even more come into this place of resource within ourselves, this place of being really clear in our mission, really clear in our voice, and this place in which we continue to do our own internal work to bring this light down onto the earth, to be pure acupuncture points on the earth, and to be light for others, to be way showers and guides and inspired places for others to hold as resource. Thank you so much. I can see hearts going through on the screen and thumbs and things. And thank you so much from Fiona's listening from Australia. So, you know, it's so wonderful that we can connect with like-minded souls and support and encourage one another all around the globe. And it's like a network of light. I see it like a lace of light that is around the world. And there is the story of Indira's net, which is this place in which we can hold a thought and expand and explode that thought into the node points of this beautiful diamond lace around the world, and each one of us can light up the nodes that can help to support all of those around the world. And I'm just really grateful to be able to share the journey with you and to share the rose wisdom, and hopefully be able to inspire your day and give some focus to the pulse points that are these full and new moons. So I'm heading off to do another space clearing and alignment with the clients here today, and then heading back on the Silverbird, excuse me, back down to my home down in the New Forest this evening. And each one of us is on an extraordinary soul adventure. If the more we are present to what's unfolding for each and every one of us in the moment, the more present we're able to be, the more we're able to be that light that is so needed on the planet at this time, a stabilizing light. And we just have to let our little light shine. So, what other news? There's some other new things that are going on the website over the weekend when I get back. I've got 2 new House Whisperessing classes that are coming up in November and December. I've got a new run of the Rose classes that are going to start online and in person, and some really interesting Rose retreat days. And there's also a special offer for the recorded Rose 1 class, which is half price until the 19th of October. So you might want to do a taster session and get the recorded Rose 1 class, which will give you all of the information about the background of the rose work, and also the energies of the first 11, the original 11 roses that form a healing grid on the body, and were the ones that came forward from my visit to the Alhambra at Rose Time in 2010, which started all this rosy journey for me, in this form anyway. But I'm sure it was a reconnection from previous lifetimes and journey, and all of the work with the roses is guided by the Sisterhood of the Rose on the higher planes and the Ascended Master Lady Nada. So, as ever, but from this time, at this point, from a very, very sunny Newcastle. Actually, just to finish this, I'm going to pick the phone up and just turn it round so that you can just have a peep out of the window here. And into the sunny landscape of Newcastle. So anyway, until next, with much love and rosy blessings from a sunny Newcastle. Bye-bye.